Welcome back, Leafs Nation. It has been like a week and a half since I've had a chance to talk hockey. It feels like forever. Especially with the basketball trade deadline thing happening. That's all I've really been thinking about. But going into tonight's game against Columbus, I think a lot of us were thinking a little wary about this game. Not because of the opponent, but because you've had such a long break and you could come back a little rusty. And get a little worried about it, but the fellas went out there tonight and they did what they were supposed to do. Beat up on the Blue Jackets, albeit Korpisalo kept, or was it Merzlikins, whoever the hell was in net for them, kept them in the game for the majority of it, but then midway through the third, Engvall scored, then just under a minute after that, JT scored a second, and the Leafs just cruised. So a 3-0 win as Samsonov gets the shutout, and the Leafs start the very informal second half of the season off on a winning note. 3-0 in Columbus. With the W, the Leafs now improved to 32-13-8 on the season. We talked about it before the break, that the Leafs come out of the break, 5 games of not very good teams. You got Columbus twice, Chicago twice, and Montreal once. Those are teams you should beat. And I said, well, you want at least 4 out of the 5. That's kind of what you want here. And they started off great. Let's talk about this game, all right? 5 minutes in, at least in the power play, it looks like the Columbus Blue Jackets guy is trying to get the puck out. He's trying to pass it out. It gets knocked down by Michael Bunting, right? And he passes to Marner, and what a silky pass. Right from the backhand to just kind of the backhand sauce to John Tavares. It looks like he redirects it, but I don't know, just kind of directs it. It's kind of a weird shot from JT on the backhand, but he roofs it past the goaltender, and the Leafs got a 1-0 lead, 5:45 into the first period. Marner and Bunting grab assists in the goal, and the boys are in front early. Great start. First period, the Leafs win in shots 14-6, and they're up 1-0 in the game. You couldn't have started the game any better if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs. Really, really nice stuff. Now, in the second period, it is back and forth. The Leafs dominate early on in the period, and it looks like they're going to break through, but they somehow can't. It's crazy. As the goaltender's making save after save after save. And we're thinking, oh God, are we going to get goalied here? This reminds me so much of the Columbus series against the Leafs, where they just could not score. But in the second period, nobody scores. Shots on goal were 15-14 in favor of Columbus. They came on in the second half of the period, but Samsonov stood tall and made some really nice stops. Did not, overexert himself, but made all the stops that he needed to make. And we head to the third period. And they put some pressure on early on, right? And then Samsonov made a really nice save on, was it Gavrikov? I think it was Gavrikov, a guy who's been obviously linked to the Leafs quite a bit. And then less than 8 minutes into the period, right? Leafs up 1-0, and the puck gets back to David Campbell, who fires to Morgan Rielly, who's coming right down the slot. And a guy in Morgan who hasn't scored a whole lot, you want to see him score, right? And so does he. But instead of that, he gets the goalie, I think it was Merzlikins, or is it Korpisalo? I can't, 70. Who the hell was that? Anyways, baits the shot hard. And what does Rielly do? He fires a seed right through the slot to the tape of Pierre Engvall, who doesn't get all of it, but gets enough of it to flutter it into the back of the net, and the Leafs got a 2-0 lead. Engvall from Rielly and David Kampf at 7:49 of the third period, and you're up 2-0. Great stuff. Just keep going. Keep pushing here, right? Like I said, less than a minute after that, and it is just beautiful. And Mitch Marner, the magician, just making things happen yet again, right? It's enter the zone. Who was that? Was it Michael Bunting? No, Martin. So it must have been John Tavares who enters the zone, and he gets to Mitch Marner. And Marner, he's got 2 guys converging on him, and he just drops the puck between his legs. And it's to John Tavares, who's just sitting there in the slot, and the quick release roofs it. And I'm like, ooh, baby. What a drop pass from Mitch Marner. What a shot from JT. He's got 2 goals on the night, and the Leafs have a 3-0 lead. 8:38 into the third period. Tavares from Marner. And at that point, right, when that third goal goes in, I'm thinking, all right, fellas, play for Sammy. And they allows a few chances here and there, but Samsonov shuts the door, and the Leafs cruise to the 3-0 shutout win over the Blue Jackets this evening, and start the informal second half of the season off on a winning note. And this 5-game stretch of bad teams, you start it with a W. Mint condition for the Buds. Samsonov, obviously a huge contributor in this game, especially in the early goings, right? It was 1-0 till almost midway through the third period. And Samsonov didn't allow anything, was really good in the second period, stopping all 15 that he faced in that second period, especially the flurry in the second half of the period. And then in the third, like I said, that big save on Gavrikov, that was a 1-0 game when he made that stop. He allows that goal. It's 1-1, and it's probably a totally different outcome. But he makes a stop, keeps the team in front, and the Leafs keep their foot on the gas, and they score 2 more. Brilliant stuff. John Tavares, obviously a key player in the game. He had 2 goals. Mitch Marner had 2 assists in the game. Really nice night from those 2 guys. They needed it big time. Coming out of the break, obviously Marner just coming back from the All-Star break. You wanted to see how he was going to come out, and he came out flying. I thought the Leafs played a really solid game defensively, not really allowing any second chance opportunities, and that's the important thing, right? What we've learned from Samsonov is he's not, more often than not, he's not going to allow the easy goals. You look at that Boston game where he did allow some easy goals, and then he had this long break. You hear the interview with him, and it's like, okay, well, he's had that mental reset, which is great to hear it, but now you want to see it. And we've all known the numbers between Samsonov and the home and the road. Obviously, he's had a bigger sample size at home, but the road numbers aren't great for Samsonov. So what does he do? He goes out there after that Boston Bruins game, and he gets a 3-0 shutout on the road. Really nice night for Samsonov. He needed that. The main guys got it done. Engvall got a goal as well. Morgan Rielly had a really nice play on that goal. Just an overall sound game for the Leafs. And I thought Nylander was all over the puck. Just could not find a way to bury one. And I just thought the Leafs played a much better game. And they deserved it. Shots on goal in the third period with 13-9 in favor of the Leafs. And 41-30 on the game. Power plays. We were 1 for 4 on our power plays, but I thought that the Leafs did a really good job moving the puck around and getting some quality opportunities on their power play. Just again, they were getting goalied there midway through. And Columbus was 0 for 3 on their power plays, including a high-sticking double minor to Timothy Liljegren. So the Leafs PK did their job in this game. Again, nothing to go crazy about. You're playing against a pretty bad Columbus Blue Jackets team, but you went on the road, and you got a nice road win coming out of the All-Star break. Now, you play a back-to-back. So you come home now to take on the same Blue Jackets team. So there's no excuses in this game at this point. You play the same Blue Jackets team at Scotiabank Arena tomorrow, and Joseph Woll, I believe this is his first start of the season for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We've all heard the stuff. We saw him last year for a bit with the Leafs. I liked what I saw. Obviously, injuries got the best of him, more or less in his career. That's kind of been his thing. But then with the Marlies this year, obviously he started the season hurt, but since he's come back was incredible. And then he made the All-Star team, and he was good in the All-Star game. And it's like the kid deserves a shot, and he's going to get the game most likely tomorrow evening against the Blue Jackets at Scotiabank Arena. So going to be interesting to see him in net, and if the Leafs can pull off both wins on the back-to-back, which would be a very nice way to start off, like I said, the informal second half of the season. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and the W this evening, smack the like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. You guys not already comment down below your thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like? From today's game for the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Twitter and Instagram links are down below, so follow up, send me a DM, guys. Do all that great stuff. The Discord link is down below as well, so follow up there if you guys have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys Raptors edition Sunday afternoon. I'll do it before the Super Bowl because I got to go somewhere for the Super Bowl. So what the hell? I got to do my video and dip. It's Raptors take on the Pistons at home against Detroit. 3 o'clock tip-off there. And as for the Leafs, they're back in action tomorrow night in the second night of a back-to-back to host this same Columbus Blue Jackets team, but this time at Scotiabank Arena at 7 p.m. tomorrow. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the W today. We'll talk to you guys then.